him and her. Just think it's a brilliant story. Got old Reese, who supports Vale because of FIFA 13. I've never heard anything like it. 22 minutes to 8, John Akers at breakfast. We have some top tips from Lisa T for your mental well-being coming next.
Text 81333. Start your message with the word Stoke. Texts are charged at your standard message rate. See our privacy notice at bbc.co.uk/local radio privacy.
All this week we've been catching up with our mental health expert and also country singer Lisa T from Sandbach to get us set up and ready to tackle the new year. This is a difficult week for many people. I struggle a bit at this time of year, I'll be honest. Every year this week I'm a bit like, I feel a bit flat. I'm lucky I've got this show, really, and my mate Matthew and brilliant people around me, but I do actually struggle with a bit of post-Christmas blues. So far this week, Lisa's been telling us about the health benefits of cold showers, and yesterday was teaching us how to use a different part of our brains to help us relax and unwind, the whole left side, right side of brain technique. Brilliant. Lisa's back with us this morning. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, John. How are you today?
I'm all right. Are you all right?
I'm good, yeah. It's Friday. That means the first week in January is you know, we've done it. We've got through it. So, yeah, it's good.
People do struggle this time of year, don't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's interesting, actually. Have you heard of Blue Monday?
Is that this Monday coming?
So it's the 17th of January this year. I'm not really sure how they work it out. I think it was a few years ago. Somebody did some studies and they worked out which is the day in January where, you know, we all feel like our New Year's resolutions are harder than ever and payday seems like a million years ago. And I think they decided that was the day of the whole month and I think the whole year where we're all a bit flat. So not to be depressing that's coming soon, but yeah, that's in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, we'll have some of your stuff, some of your tips to help us with it. You've given us some great tips all week. The left side, right side brain thing. It's brilliant. Basically, you use one side of your brain to do things like organise your emails and do stuff for work, and sometimes that can make you very, very tired, and then to feel a hit of energy, you do something creative with the other side of your brain for 20 minutes, and it just wakes you up and gives you energy that you didn't have before. Great tip. What have you got for us today?
Yeah, that's right. Very well explained, John. So yes, yesterday's tip was about how we can re-energise when it's partway through the day or partway through the week and there's still so much to do, how we can get that left side going again, the left side of the brain. But today's tip is for the end of the week, which we're reaching now, about how we can completely switch off when we know that there's still a lot to come back to next week, but we just want to take a couple of days to relax. So I like to call this how we can close our brain tabs. So a bit like when we're on the computer or we're on our phone and we've got loads of tabs open at once and the computer starts to make that humming noise because it just can't cope, or you know, the phone battery starts to deteriorate because it's being overused. Well, it's the same for our brain. We need to learn how we can close our brain tabs. So if we think about how many times we loop the same thought over and over again in our mind, usually something that we know we have to complete, like a task, like when will I do that, when will I get around to completing that, it can make us feel quite exhausted and a bit unmotivated if we've got loads of things on our to-do list. So what can we do about it? So we need to free up our headspace, and it's quite common advice that we've heard for a long time now that we need to get things out of our head and onto paper by creating a to-do list, which is great advice because so many studies have proven that by doing that it does help to stop things ruminating in our mind. However, what can happen with a to-do list sometimes is, especially one like mine that's never ending, is it can actually feel a bit overwhelming because you've got all these things written down. Some of them are scribbled off, some of them have been on there for weeks, and some of them are urgent, and it can just feel a bit much. So my advice today is, instead of having one long to-do list, try and schedule specific tasks into your planner. So you've got a planner, hopefully, or even on your phone with a month, you know, the full month or the full week. So instead of just making one big to-do list, try and break things down so you know each day what you need to do. So if you've got a couple of things that are urgent that need to get done today, put those in for today. Anything that can wait till next week, schedule those in for a day next week. And that way, your brain knows that there's some point in the not too distant future where you've put some time aside to do that task, and it can relax in that knowledge. So it just breaks it down a bit.
Gotcha. So I've got an example here, producer Matt and Lisa, of one that I've got in my brain, and it's been on my list for ages, and I started to make some headway and try and tackle it on Tuesday, but didn't get anywhere. So I've got a direct debit coming out of my bank every month to a certain insurance group, and I don't know what it's for. It's 30 quid a month, right?
Yeah.
And it's been coming out of my bank like since I was born, basically. And I can't find the company. It's like a big umbrella company,
right?
That the direct debit says, and then underneath, and then there's a reference number, of bank details.
Yeah.
And then they own like a load of companies, and I can't find the company that I'm paying the money to.
Oh, flipping heck.
So I don't know what it's. I'm pretty sure it's buildings and contents insurance, probably, but that'll be for my old house.
Yeah, you don't need to pay that anymore. No, not for your own stuff.
This thought has been... So before I go to sleep at night, I'm like, I've got to sort that direct debit. And it's on my list, and it's been on my list for ages, and I had another go at it on Tuesday, probably spent 3 hours on it, on hold to various companies. No, sorry, we haven't got your details. And that is the thing that I need to literally... It could save me a fortune if I just put one date in my family calendar, where Amber's events and my events are all scheduled on one calendar on our phone. It's an app. And that is a great thing to do. I'm going to do that. When shall I do it? Next week sometime. Do it Monday.
Make sure you write it down, though.
Yeah.
I've got to write it down.
Yeah, get it out of your head.
And if anyone has any tips, has had this before, has got a mystery direct debit and they've got no idea what they're paying for or why. The only thing that's keeping me going is that at some point, hopefully, I'll get some sort of big rebate, because I'll go, I moved out, and here's my proof I moved out.
Mate, that is wishful thinking, honestly. Once they're taking your money, they very rarely give it back.
No, it's true. Don't say that. That's been keeping me going.
Sorry, they'll give it back when they realise their mistake.
Oh, dear. It's a good one, that, Lisa. They're all good, to be fair. What are you up to this weekend?
Yeah. Just to quickly say as well, for anyone that was listening earlier in the week, I mentioned about goal setting, and we were talking about how sometimes we can overwhelm ourselves with too many New Year's resolution goals all at once, and it's a bit much for the brain, and how it takes 66 days to build one habit. So the best thing to do is to concentrate on one habit for a couple of months and then build in another habit, rather than trying to quit smoking, quit drinking, start the gym all at once. So this planner is a great way to work out when you can build in each resolution as well. So you can look at your planner and build in the first resolution, and then add in when you should start the second, and just work it all out. So yeah, sorry, just wanted to mention that as well, John. Thank you.
Yes, like it. I like the fact you've tied two together there. What are we going to do next week, Matthew, without Lisa with us? Because she's with Jack and Lee on Mondays. They've stolen her from us.
We'll probably fall apart like we normally do.
I am worried for my mental health not having her on the show.
To be honest.
I feel anchored with Lisa on. Have a brilliant weekend. Anything nice planned?
Thank you. Well, it's my granddad's 96th birthday party, so yeah, we're going to a local pub near him, and I'm going to sing some songs in the pub, which will be lovely.
96, wow. Amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I know. He's so healthy, and he's great. He's brilliant. Yeah.
What's his name?
Jim Gill, his name is.
Jim. Don't make names like that anymore, do they, Jim?
No, it's a proper granddad's name.
It's just a proper name. You know where you are with a Jim. You just know where you stand. Just don't. They don't.
Yeah,
make
you
them
do,
like that
definitely.
Anymore. Magic. Well, happy birthday, Jim. 96 this weekend.
Aww.
Have a brilliant celebration with friends and family. And thank you for this week. It's been great.
Oh, thank you for having me, John. And I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Hopefully. See you, Lisa.
Bye.
Morning, hope you're okay. John Akers at breakfast. BBC Radio Stoke. Cross Lane Church Minshall. Still closed between Erdswick